Batman's movie villains. I know I could have done a top favorite Batman comic book villains or villains in general, but I thought it'd be fun if I stuck to the movies. Looked at all of the live action movies, mind you, as a whole, judge every villain and rank my favorite ones. Coming in at number 5 is Two-Face. Aaron Eckhart's Two-Face from The Dark Knight. And it's not just because of how much I love The Dark Knight, because I do love that movie. That movie, as a whole, is more about Batman versus the Joker. But you get a good amount of Harvey Dent's character arc, his downward spiral on becoming a villain. He starts off being this straight-up guy, this good guy who you really buy is going to try to save the city. He's going to try to be Gotham's White Knight. You buy that he's going to come in and indirectly help Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne doesn't want to be Batman forever, ironically enough. And if Harvey Dent is successful, then Batman is totally fine not being Batman anymore. He wants Harvey to succeed, and seeing him fail, seeing that out of Batman, Gordon, and Dent, that Dent falls so bad, so hard, and turns into the same exact thing that he was fighting. It's so tragic, and I love Aaron Eckhart's performance. Sure, you could say that when he's actually Two-Face, it's not a lot of him, but watching him get to that point, for me, was enough. Number 4, the Riddler. Jim Carrey's Riddler. And sure, this has a lot to do with how much I love Batman Forever. You could say the movie's a little goofy and jokey, and not everyone loves it as much as I do. I grew up with the movie. You have to at least admit that Jim Carrey is fun to watch. If nothing else, he is so charismatic, so over the top, but in a good way. He's into it. He puts so much energy into the role. But at the same time, it's not just Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey for the sake of it. You do feel like he is trying to portray a different version of the Riddler. You know, with these characters, some people have to realize that just because they might think of the character a certain way, that doesn't mean it's the only way to play the Riddler. Sure, one day I'd like to see a more serious Riddler, but I don't mind a goofy Riddler. I don't mind a Riddler who, whenever he commits an act of crime, he leaves riddles. I also loved his obsession with Bruce Wayne. That was something different. And seeing that rejection from Bruce really drive him over the edge. How someone's obsession over somebody turns into hatred and wanting to kill that person. I thought there was a lot of interesting stuff going on with him. I can watch Batman Forever and quote damn near all of his lines just because it's fun. Number 3, the Joker. Jack Nicholson's Joker. Jack Nicholson, I don't know if he was at the time such an obvious pick to play the Joker. In Batman 89, he starts off being the typical sort of gangster type character. It's one of the first times, I think, that I can remember that we saw Joker before he was the Joker in live action form. And seeing Batman directly causing what happens to him falling to the vat of chemicals and bleaching his skin. And I love the scene where the surgeon is working on his face and Nicholson sees the mirror of how he looks and he just starts laughing. And he knocks a light bulb out and it's in the dark, you see his shadow, and him laughing, that's when, at least for me, I get sold on Nicholson as the Joker. I've heard some people say that, oh, it's really nothing special. It's just Nicholson being himself, but he's in clown makeup. And I can't disagree more. He is that crazy. He is that overly silly and jokey. The scene where he kills his boss and he's shooting at him and he's shooting the gun in funny places and then he just takes over and he's laughing. I don't know how you don't see the Joker there. And everything that he does when he kills people with his laughing gases, or at the end when he holds that parade and his balloons trying to kill everyone in the city. When he pulls out that long, huge gun and shoots down the Batwing. hilarious. Alright, number 2 might be a little bit of a surprise by how high this character is on the list, but the Penguin, Danny DeVito from Batman Returns, and you're going to get a lot of people, probably, who disagree, who don't like Danny DeVito's Penguin, mostly because they don't like Tim Burton's version of the Penguin, this disfigured kid who was thrown in the sewers by his parents, and he lived in the sewers for over 30 years, and he hates the people of Gotham, and thanks to Max Schreck, he coerced this plan of becoming the mayor, winning people's trust, only to plan to steal the firstborn children and drown them all. That's pretty heavy. You could say how, whoa, this is nothing like the Penguin from the comics. The Penguin in the comics is a well-distinguished, rich, intelligent man who might be short in stature and might have a long nose and look a little funny. He's not really disfigured like this. I get that. There is a part of me that wants to see that version of the Penguin as well. Somebody who owns a nightclub but is really a low-life criminal behind the scenes. Sure, but I get what Burton was going for. I get why he wanted to change the character. It's Tim Burton. He's going to be out there. And it might have something to do with the fact that I grew up with this Penguin. But Danny DeVito, he does put a lot into that character. Just how creepy he is, his voice, his mannerisms, everything about him. The scenes where he's eating raw fish, and when he's in that office room and almost those campaign people are trying to get him worked up and talking about changing his image. I love the moment where he bites the guy's nose and blood squirting. It's pretty dark. He does a lot of dark, says a lot of dark things. His whole end goal plan is so intense and dark. Now, number 1 for my favorite Batman movie villains, ironically enough, it's the Joker once again, but it's Heath Ledger. Man, I'll be honest, because I know almost damn near everyone, when they first heard about Heath Ledger being cast as the Joker, they were against it, they hated it, they were pissed, they said, fuck that, Ledger can't do it, Brokeback Mountain, really, all of this stuff. Me, honestly, I was never against it. I don't remember being excited. I definitely wasn't like, yeah, that was a perfect choice. But I said, hey, why not? Let's see what he can do. When I saw that first picture of the makeup, the cuts on his face, and how creepy it looked, I said, wow. Not only was everyone wrong, but we're definitely getting something different, something dark, something edgy, something crazy with this character. And then the trailer came out, and you heard his voice, and then you saw him in the flesh, and my mind was blown. He's the main reason, I guess, why I love watching The Dark Knight as much as I do. And it's of course a shame, it's a travesty, that Ledger never got to see the movie that he made, never got to see the performance that he gave. But my God, if an actor never deserved an Oscar for a comic book film more than Ledger, he was the guy to get it. Anyways, guys, that's my top 5 favorite Batman movie villains of all time. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the list. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Later!